What is up, everybody? We're back here with this Concussions and Discussions. I'm Michael Boylan with Milan. We are also here with our special guest, Nate Williams, fresh off his win last night. So, yeah, Nate, go ahead and give yourself a little bit of an introduction, then we'll get rolling.
I'm Nate Williams. Been a professional for about 18 years. One of the coaches here at Priscelli's Training Center.
Sweet. Fresh off your win, you got a submission victory. It was a grappling match last night. So, how'd you feel during that?
I think I should have pushed the pace a little bit more with the wrestling aspect. But I was having fun out there, so I didn't want to kind of gas myself out because I didn't really know what to expect, especially with Jonah. I know he's a good grappler, so I didn't want to kind of put myself in an awkward position and get submitted.
So tell us a little bit more about that. Actually, I remember I was there. I think I fought on Victor's card when Jonah had a grappling match, and he pretty boldly called you out. How did you? I remember how you felt then when he did that. I remember you were talking a little bit of smack, but I guess tell us like how you felt when he called you out, and how did you feel when you won?
Well, he actually called me out twice. First time it was against Cesar, and he beat Cesar by a decision, and then he grappled against Kai, and then armbarred Kai, and then he was pretty quick to call me out. It kind of pissed me off a little bit. Don't come to my hometown and call me out thinking you're going to come in and prove something, because that's not going to happen. But I knew I was going to submit him, just like going even in the back before the match. I was just going over some things with Mikey over here, what he was going to do, and exactly what we went over.
You were ready, right?
Do.
Yep.
And I ended up submitting him in the second round by a high elbow guillotine.
And this was like pretty short notice for you, right? We were in Florida. When was that? 2 weeks ago
last
now?
weekend.
Last weekend, yeah.
Last
we were in
weekend.
Florida, right? You were focused on your bare knuckle match, which we'll get into that too. But
sure.
you were pretty focused on your boxing. Like lately in practice, you haven't done a lot of grappling here and there, maybe. So, and you took this on short notice against a skilled opponent. What can you say about that? How does that make you feel winning even without like true preparation for the match?
I'm always ready.
Appreciate it.
I always stay ready, so I have to get ready.
That's guillotine from hell.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I can really go with really anybody. MMA, grappling, bare knuckle. I've been doing this for too long to have like a strict training camp. So I'm always trying to stay ready. If it's not just in the gym, if it's cardio, whatever, because you never know what's gonna come up.
Definitely. Yeah, no, and back to the point about how we were drilling literally what you hit in the match. We didn't drill much. I mean, we drilled for a couple minutes, and, we're moving around, whatever. Then the one thing that we drill, he ends up hitting in the match. So that was just, I seen it, he goes to get up, you catch a guillotine, I was like, well, yep, that wraps it up.
It felt good.
It felt good, yeah,
right.
no, literally, because again, it's not like we drilled 5 different moves. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like Nate only has one move, but he's really good at a guillotine, right? Hits a lot of people with it.
Some black belts in the past 2 weeks, like, it's just working.
And yeah, Jonah's tough. The kid he went against, he's been killing it in the jiu-jitsu
I was impressed by him,
yeah. Yeah, he's been killing it. So to go out there and do what you did, it was impressive for sure. It was exciting too. From the corner.
We were talking a little bit about that, not in the podcast necessarily, but like before, about like, you can like drill something, but
for
like
sure.
once it clicks into your mind and you can like kind of visualize it and see it, like is that how it felt? Like it felt like something you visualized?
I always visualize a guillotine. Like it comes natural. I used to hate guillotines when I first started fighting. I used to get caught in guillotines and rear naked chokes all the time just because I was a wrestler, so I was always putting my neck out there, get caught. And so I always told myself, I'm going to master the defense and the offense so that I can hit and know how to get out of it. And so I mastered the guillotine. And
You
just
start
the
loving
high
your
elbow.
poison, huh?
Yeah.
You start loving your
The
poison.
high
Too much
elbow
of your
is
own
just
poison.
my,
Right.
Yep.
it's just my thing. I don't know. It's just the way I hit it, the way I set it up is just, it's different from everybody else. I can hit it from really whatever angle I can get it. They can pass the guard one way, I get it. They pass the guard the other way, I can get it.
That's a very interesting thing about your guillotine is that you do a high elbow. So like even like you hit it on me just recently, and even though I passed off into side mount, you're still able to hit it because you're still able to block off the artery. It's super weird because typically they teach you get put in a guillotine, you pass off to the other side, you're safe. I mean, there's not much they can do. But you do a really good job at even if they pass off, you still catch it, and it's like fucking hell. It's annoying, but it's good.
Yeah, and like I typically, sometimes I'll let people pass the guard because it makes it even that much tighter because they think, oh,
It makes them more comfy.
I pass to the right side, and all it does is just makes it that much tighter.
Yeah.
And if they pass to the opposite side, well, I mean, you're putting yourself
Yeah,
right to the guillotine.
you're screwing yourself. Yeah. I mean, either way, there's not a whole lot of outs on it, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit about getting like the same move from multiple situations. Like, there's a little story, right? Like my uncle was one of Serbia's greatest wrestlers, and his thing was a lateral, ironically, just like mine. But he was like, I drilled one move, but he's like, he had these like Russians scouting him because they knew it was a threat, right? So the guy that was actually, because Russians are really footage, like they watch you, right? And he's like, the coach came to him and he told him like, I know that this is the move that you do, and I tried figuring out when do you do it, like how do you set it up, what do you do? And I was quick to learn that yes, you do the same move, but you do it from multiple different scenarios, and
Bunch of setups and stuff.
that's what made his rather simple move. It made it higher level. So
Yeah.
You see that a lot.
Yeah, I feel like I can set up my guillotine from different angles. You shoot on me, I'll get it. I'll get you side control. I'll let you get to north-south choke, let you come up, and I'll get it. I'll have your back, and I'll set off and get it. Like there's different ways I set it up. So I mean, you never know when it's coming. So if you let me get my hands around your neck, you're cooked. You're done.
Yeah, you see that a lot with good guys is they have one or two, maybe two or three really good moves that they're good at, but it's not necessarily the move that they're good at. They're good at making them fall into the trap of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're good at getting them to fall into the game pretty much.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's half the battle is trying to get them to, like I said, fall into what you want. So yeah, that's probably the more impressive part. Rather than knowing 100 different moves, having one or two good moves that you know how to hit from 100 different positions, I feel like is a lot more valuable.
I mean, I know other moves, obviously. I mean, I've been doing it long enough. But, I mean, if I can catch you in the same move over and over again in different ways.
Bread and butter. That's what
Why not?
That's what
You know
my...
I mean?
Or that's it, like
it just doesn't make any sense if it keeps on working.
Yeah.
Why change it?
And you'll try other moves, and that move just sets up back to this freaking guillotine, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
my wife, that's what she says, like when she coaches wrestling, she's like, you need your bread and butter.
Yeah,
So that's your bread and butter move. And
for sure.
let's go a little bit back to Florida for a second, right?
Oh, yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah,
It was a good time.
Yeah.
We made the best of it.
It didn't go as planned. You were there to fight an opponent. We watched this opponent. He was decent, but like when I saw him, so what happened is for those who haven't seen, so we went to Florida. He was supposed to have a fight for bare knuckle boxing.
BYB or BKB.
Right.
BKB,
His
yep.
opponent was a Cuban guy from. Well, he trains in Florida, right?
Yeah,
So
I believe so.
he was
Yeah,
local,
yeah,
right?
he was local from
And very skilled, very game, very fast, very slick. You were supposed to fight him. I think it would have been a really good
I think
fight.
it would have been a good fight.
Right.
Yeah.
But what happened is the main event fell apart. Guy missed weight, so they moved your guy, and you just decided to be a company man and be like, okay, get me on the next card. Still got paid, and then we just kind of. Did the most of it. We watched the fights. We went and trained places.
We stayed busy.
We stayed busy.
It was fun.
We stayed busy. But tell me about how did it make you feel when that fight collapsed?
So I just got done cutting the last maybe pound and a half. Just got done cutting weight, and I get a call from Mel. I seen his name come up, and I knew something was up. Like, that doesn't happen. We were like 15 minutes away from weigh-ins, and the first things out of his mouth was, "I need you to be in company, man." And I was like, "Yep, something's going on." And he was like, "Have one or two things for you. Either one, we can get you an opponent. We already have somebody, or you can just chill, relax, come to the fights, and we'll still get paid." Well, I talked with these guys. We just didn't think it was a good matchup right at this.
Not on short notice either.
Not on a day's notice.
Yeah.
Not really good. So we just chilled, and it was cool. It was all right, but I mean, I wish I would have fought. Honestly,
For sure.
I wanted to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, like this guy ended up having a good performance in the main event.
Yep.
He went a weight class up, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
The guy he was supposed to fight.
The
is who
Nate,
we're talking about.
Nate's original opponent. So he went up a weight class, and it was 6-round fight.
Gets a tough cat.
It was mostly on the judges' scorecards. It was free in rounds. However, the other guy knocked down Nate's Cuban. He knocked him down, but not in a way that it caused a lot of damage. I think kind of got him off balance, clipped him, and this guy ended up. I never saw anybody get knocked down so cool, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
as he get knocked down, he back rolls and pushes off his arms, gets on and like almost wants to like dance and just get back into it. I was pretty impressed with him.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna get so flat. I personally thought he might have edged it out.
If he didn't get
Yeah.
the knockdown,
I think they gave it to the other guy unanimous, I believe, wasn't it?
It was unanimous, but
I
yeah,
don't-
but
I
it
don't
was
think-
it was for free. Like
Yeah,
if
I
you
just don't-
calculate.
I think it was a lot closer than people give it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Didn't realize.
the thing about this is I don't like boxing's like judging because one guy can be winning the whole round, but then he gets knocked down at the end of the round. He loses 10-8.
Yes.
Well, that's just like my last fight.
Yeah, exactly.
I lost the first
exactly.
2 rounds, and I won the third, fourth, and fifth round, and I
Yep.
still lost the fight by
Yeah.
unanimous.
The
So I mean,
knock-
I get it. I
Th-
get it.
that's
it was
one
just-
thing.
It was a good fight, though.
That's one thing, and the other thing I noticed compared to MMA is like the activity, right? So you have that other guy, he won a few rounds that he didn't do much, but he made the guy miss, and he was the one landing, even though he threw about 2 times or more less punches than the Cuban, right? And I was like, when is this Cuban guy gonna slow down? His pace was like
Very sporadic.
until the
And
last
fast.
round. Until the last round, it was awesome. And in MMA, I think people get away more with just like throwing, and activity. Like, okay, this guy's active, this guy's pressing forward, trying to finish the fight. He gets the round. In boxing, not so much. It's who's landing more, from what I came
For
to
sure.
understand. Yeah.
I feel like MMA guys though aren't as good at defending either, but maybe it doesn't mean they're not as good at defending. It's probably just harder to defend because you have smaller gloves on too.
Yeah.
Smaller
Right.
gloves and more stuff to defend too, you know.
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
kicks and everything. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so like there's only so much like you can make defense look very pretty in boxing. I feel like like Russ, from here.
Right.
Russ has really good. He's a young buck, but he has really good defense.
Yeah, I
Like,
just
he
mentioned
keeps
him
his
this
hands
last
up.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
looks
he
really
had a
good.
fight 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Yep. And his
Against an
Yeah.
more experienced kid too.
dude, I love
One,
watching
yeah.
Russ. His defense
he-
is really good.
He's hard to spar too. I'm like, man, he doesn't do anything complicated, but everything he does good.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
But
yeah.
go ahead. But
Yeah,
back to the
Go ahead. No, that was it. That was actually it. So,
okay.
go ahead.
Back to the whole like defense thing. The difference with like boxing gloves and MMA gloves is like with MMA gloves you can still go here and the punches can sneak through. 'Cause
Right.
They're so small. Like they can
Yeah.
sneak around, still hit the back, or maybe not the back of your head, but behind your glove or whatever it might be. With the boxing glove, you have a little bit more surface area to cover yourself. So like,
Yeah.
it's also a lot easier.
Or you can go Romero like this.
yeah. Elbows out, baby.
I mean, it's also even with from MMA to bare knuckle,
I bet that's different.
Yeah, even with the MMA gloves on, you still got
A good inch.
4 ounces, and then about an inch.
And not to
inch and a
mention
half.
all the cuts that
Yeah.
happen from the knuckles.
Man, and then
Yeah.
I mean, even trying to block with bare knuckle, you're thinking you're blocking, they're still able to get through. So I mean, it's a different beast.
Well, that's what I
It's a
see.
different
Like
beast.
your defense, your guard, rather than like it seems like it's almost higher because you got to block with your forearm rather than like just your hand. And I feel like that's big, like really keeping this tight. I mean, I've never done bare knuckles, so I wouldn't necessarily know. It's just kind of what I'd imagine is you got to use your whole arm to defend rather than you just relying on your glove because it's not there.
Yeah.
Right? Or your hand. You get your hand hit. I mean, I can't imagine that feels good.
I mean, you cornered Nate in his last fight too. You know, you saw it firsthand, like, and we watched the whole last event together. I mean,
yeah. You see it. You
high
see the
consequences for doing the sport.
Yeah, because like in like an MMA fight, I'm more out here.
Yeah.
But like in my bare knuckle, I'm more right
Nice
here,
and tight.
more nice and tight, especially when I get in close. The only time I go reach out is if I'm going to reach out for the hands if I'm close.
Yeah.
Like, you still don't want to because you can't. They can sneak in.
Do they have rule sets on grabbing the hands? Like, are you able to?
I don't. I did my last fight, and no, they didn't
No
say
warning.
I mean, because
nothing,
really,
yeah.
you could just come out, get double wrist control, then like play from that. You know, like I mean, obviously, so realistically, you being the shorter guy, it may not be as effective. I feel like it'd work really well for like a longer rangy fighter, but I still feel like that could be something to be said. You know, like coming in, or like if you're in the pocket, grab a hand, pull it down, come over the top.
That's how I do it.
Now, like it wasn't nasty and bloody enough. They, decided to make the ring damn triangle. So how does it feel?
Yes, tiny.
Yeah, tiny. Like
not a big
you
triangle
either
either.
we have an octagon, you can circle out. Even in a boxing, okay, it's what square. Yeah, you can circle out. Here you have a triangle. How did that feel first time you fought?
Honestly, it was weird because every time you circle, you're basically in a corner. So you have to take the center and keep the center. And if you do, you have to circle. You can't sidestep. If you do sidestep, you got to angle off quick. I feel because I'm a lot smaller than a lot of people, I think it comes up to my advantage a little bit more because I can move more than some other like tall, lanky guys.
Couldn't imagine being a heavyweight in that ring.
Oh, God.
they take one step back. And
Well,
they're after
we had a couple of heavyweights on the card.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and
And we
it's
watch them, and there's
It's just
Pe-
like they take
people
one
were-
step and it's just like
they're in their face.
Yeah.
There was one fight that wasn't by any means like the guys were kind of older and maybe not even as skilled, right? But like people were taking pictures with this guy that won this fight, right? But they were taking pictures of him just based on how he looked like an alien.
Oh, bad.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, both his eyes were. Couldn't
Both
even see
eyes
him.
were-
You couldn't even
yeah,
see him. I can't
yeah.
believe he could see.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was fun though. It was a good time.
Nate, tell me,
was
okay,
a good time.
I know you personally, right? So, but I'll ask you. So, if it's something you want to talk about, is like how has like last year been to you on a personal level, and how much has again, I'm asking this question not just because of you, but like all these kids, or let's say that want to train, that are watching, that need their filter. We spoke in the last podcast how like MMA was your filter, right?
For
Like you
sure.
were an aggressive kid.
Yeah.
So Nate, how has training MMA helped you last year?
It's just
And what happened, if you want to share that?
no, I just going through some personal things with my wife, my ex-wife. It really helped focus myself and my energy onto training and less onto my personal stuff that's going on because I have something to look forward to and getting back into the gym and
For sure.
yeah, I don't know. I think training MMA, wrestling, grappling, whatever, really helps let some steam off. So if you have any kind of depression issues, anger issues, or whatever, try to find an outlet. MMA, grappling, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, something that's gonna help you release that anger, release that stress.
Because there's only so much you can get from like someone's advice. Right? I remember talking to you, and I would give you, advice, and I imagine you spoke with friends and family about the matter as well. And but yeah, you can't really do much about it at that point. But hey,
sure.
you could get that negative energy out in practice.
That's why
right?
I wondered, like, if hardships outside of like the gym and stuff do you feel like it's actually fueled your fire, like in training or in fights or anything like that? Because I feel like you do see a lot of really good fighters come from rough upbringings, you know. So I wonder if that plays a point in that, right?
I know in my last couple of fights, I had a little bit of aggression, and my last MMA fight, I really didn't get too much because I choked the dude out and was like.
It's a good win.
It was like 17 seconds.
It's a good win.
Yeah, it was a good win. It was a good win, but I still felt like I needed some energy left.
Needed
out.
some damage, huh?
Yeah,
some
but then I
damage.
had that bare knuckle fight.
Putting him to sleep wasn't enough.
No. I didn't get to put my hands on. I didn't get to hit him. But no, I think that bare knuckle fight let out some energy. But I had some more to let out. But I think my next fight is.
Yeah. Speaking of next fight,
I think I'm gonna have a lot of. This is gonna be a different Nate than my last bare knuckle fight. You know,
For sure.
like I wanted to put on a show, let them know who I am. They know who I am now. Now it's time to do business.
Yeah.
It's time to put in work.
and speaking of next fight, you got an offer.
So I may be fighting June 21st in Tennessee. I'm just waiting to hear back from my boss if I can take the days off or not. If I can, then it's a go. If not, then September 27th in New York.
Cool. Yeah, so we definitely got some things lined up. And that one's only 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
I mean, June 21st. Yeah, it's 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah.
Someone's car alarm's going off.
Maybe it's mine.
Is it? Jesus. Wow. On the podcast.
It's not mine, buddy.
It could be mine. Nope, it's
It was Nate's. It was Nate's.
Yeah,
for the
my bad.
more
My
excitement.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, no, if that Nashville fight does happen, I'm gonna need someone to teach me how to line dance. Hey, I got the Cotton Eye Joe down.
Hey, don't look at me. I can't dance.
Like quick learner. I'm a quick learner. Just give me a cowboy hat and some shit kickers, and we'll call it good.
No, I can't do that. I'll go watch.
After the fight.
Are you open to like MMA fights as well, or does it depend on if a belt is on the line, or?
So I mean, I'll fight another MMA fight. It just has to be worth it. I'm not gonna fight just some 10-0 kid, up and coming kid, just because they need a fight. That's not who I am. I'm not gonna be somebody's gatekeeper.
Yeah. Yep.
So it has to be a smart fight. Title's always a good
Motivator.
good, good incentive to fight. But again, it has to be a smart fight. It has to be worth it. You know, I've been doing it too long to just take some bullshit bag. You know.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
have over 50. How many fights do you have so far in MMA alone?
Over 50 as a professional.
I'm about to say you got like a lot more as an Ami too.
Yeah,
right?
I was 49-6 as an amateur.
Jesus.
It's like how much aggression do you
55,
have, man? If you didn't let it out.
He's gonna be one of those guys. Just don't turn into a Tony Ferguson, and we'll call it good.
No.
Yeah.
We'll stop you before that.
We don't see any brain damage so far. So. It helps that he's a grappler, right? Which brings me to a point is like, okay, we all know that your style is grappling.
Mm-hmm.
What in God's name made you want to do bare knuckle boxing?
To be honest,
Got money. I'm just kidding.
The money's a lot better than MMA. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But the older I've gotten, the less I want to roll around on the ground.
Fair.
I don't know why. I've never been like that. Like, if anybody's watched my older fights, I was always first person to go to the ground. Boom. I'm gonna throw your hands, take you down. It's just the older I've gotten, the more I've wanting to stand up, and I just have more confidence in my hands and my striking.
Is there like any point to that like you want more highlights with striking? Because I feel like that's been something with me where I grappled a lot of my amateur fights, and I'm like, I want more cool highlights on the feet, so that forced me to strike a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about that. I just think I just like to hit.
Just
somebody.
want to strike a little more, get that aggression out a little bit more.
So
That's cool.
would you say that was like that used to be a part of the game that made you the most uncomfortable, and you're trying to prove
definitely.
yourself?
Oh, definitely.
Something to yourself.
Definitely. I was always just going, all you're gonna do is throw the overhand right, take it down.
Yeah.
Take it down, submission. take it down, submission. Throw a leg kick, take it down, submission. And I got to the point I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna work on my striking. And then I started standing up for people a lot more. And bare knuckle started getting bigger. And I was the first one to say, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing it.
Now look at him.
And then, like I said, I started watching a little bit more. I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry about takedowns. Do I have to worry about leg kicks?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
You
know what I mean?
Why
Might as
not?
well. And then
Why
I got a hold of BKB, and they
Did you reach out to them? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, I
Nice,
reached out
nice.
to them, and then I signed with them.
Shout out
and-
BKB.
Yeah,
Shout out
BKB with
BKB.
Mel.
Got the hat on, right?
Yeah,
Look at this guy.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, look at you now.
Yeah. Now
Honestly-
I wanted to fight. I just want to stand up.
Honestly, even though somebody is looking at it from the side. When we were there, I mean, they showed you some respect.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, lots. And, yeah.
Showed you some respect. Even the poster they did, we should have brought it
Yeah, they
here.
made you-
I do.
Oh, we should have.
I-
You got it?
I do have it.
You should go grab it. We should show him.
Yeah, I'll get. Want to go get now?
Yeah, grab it now.
We're gonna
grab it
talk
now.
shit while you're gone.
Yeah, we're gonna talk shit.
Yeah.
This dude's a bitch. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Let's get into.
I actually want. Okay, yeah.
You
What
go
do
ahead.
No.
Well, he's gone, and
Yeah, it won't be
UFC last
long.
night. UFC last night.
I only caught the Kayla Harrison and Pena fight, and then also O'Malley and Merab. I am shocked Merab was able to submit O'Malley just because O'Malley said last camp he wasn't able to grapple much, and Merab took him to decision. And that's what Merab does. He takes guys to decision, right?
Yeah.
But then O'Malley, it seems like he was able to grapple all this camp, and Merab still got the finish with the submission. Merab's going to be a tough dude to beat with anyone.
I don't know what kind of game plan. I mean, you have to be. And okay,
O'Malley's camp is really smart too. Like,
it is smart, and O'Malley, for the most part, is a sniper, right?
Yeah.
So on paper, he's the guy to beat Merab
damn near
because
him
or
Umar if Umar doesn't gas,
Yeah.
but you just can't.
Yeah.
Too much muscle.
and we saw that against.
Yeah, let's see this damn poster.
Oh yeah, let's see O'Malley versus Sterling. Sterling.
Yeah.
Sniper,
They were
what's
sniper.
that?
Yeah,
Right.
just show the camera. Freaking legit. They made that for him. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. And they only made a couple fighters. I mean, they only had like.
Yeah, I think it was
three
only
of
like 4 or 5.
3, 4, 5, something like that. Yeah.
Four
freaking
fighters
sweet,
like.
though.
I
Here,
don't
leave
know.
it. Leave it.
Do they have fight of the night?
No, they don't.
They don't, but that would have your last fight would have definitely been.
Yeah, so
I don't know. I don't
Fight
think
of
we
the
can see
night.
that, but whatever.
Yeah, that was the card. It was a pretty good event. It was cool.
You can use that one here if you want
Yeah.
to. I don't know if they can see it or not. I think
No, it's
briefly.
They seen it though.
We started talking about the UFC fights. So what is
Yeah, so
yeah.
last night we were talking about Merab and O'Malley and
Who's
like,
gonna beat
stylistically. Like, what do you think needs to happen for Merab to lose?
I think, like I said, I think you got to have a guy like Umar, but I mean, he just got to be more efficient and not waste his gas tank or something, and that's hard because Umar's.
But it's not that he wasn't efficient.
You're right. I mean, at that level,
has a
he
gas
is.
tank too, though.
He is, but not against Merab. Fucking Merab
Whoa,
is just an absolute the
We
machine.
we thought Umar was gonna have the best chance with him with his gas tank,
That's what I thought. So too.
and he just outgassed.
He did good against him the first 2 rounds, though, if I remember correctly.
I think everybody's good for the first 2 rounds. It's those championship rounds that kill you. And
Yeah, man.
Merab is just his gas tank is just
It's
not
different,
existent.
dude. It's different.
Not existent.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
on.
it's different, man. I mean,
he's a
I'm
moving
going-
target. Like
yeah.
he's a moving target. We know like O'Malley's a sniper, and we saw that when he just fires with 2, boom.
Yeah.
Done. Walk.
Yeah,
I
Walk
think
off.
that's what you
knockout.
gotta do. You gotta catch
Right?
him, but
Yeah, but like this guy's just moving everywhere in such like unorthodox ways.
It's hard to catch him.
Yeah,
I think
It's kind of like it's a difference. It's kind of his style kind of reminds me of Dillashaw, the movement, but not all with the foot movement. Just
Yeah.
a lot of the
upper
head
body
movement.
always
Yeah, it's
keeping the guy
hard.
guessing.
Yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
to time him.
and like is he even like he must have with how ready he is and how strong he is, like his neck, his level of like maybe he's not even that easy. Even if you did hit him clean.
No, I don't.
Why
yeah.
would it take to knock him
I
out?
think it's probably hard to knock him out.
Yeah.
And not only that, guys get knocked out when they're more tired. And Merab just, I'm
That's
sure he
good.
gets tired towards the end, but so does not as much as the other person.
Well, if you remember when he got stuck in that guillotine, I can't remember who
yeah,
it
dude
was.
was kicking out and just
Yeah,
still surviving, dude.
everybody thought he was out.
Wow.
And as soon as he let him go, he was just laying there, and then he just like sat up. And it was like,
Who was that
I
against?
can't remember who.
I
it was.
looked at his record earlier today, and his first 2 fights in the UFC were losses. So
Wasn't his
one
first
was-
2 pro fights in general losses as well? Or is
I
that wrong?
didn't go that far down,
Could
but
be wrong.
the first ones in the UFC, both losses.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that a guy starting out in the UFC with 2 losses is gonna be not just
One on
champion, but like a heck of a champion, right?
Yeah.
And one he lost by guillotine, and one he lost by decision.
Did he change camps?
I don't know what happened, but whatever.
Sometimes that happens
Yeah.
if you change camps.
Maybe. I think he's been pretty committed with Matt Serra and them the whole time, though.
Yeah.
And now he has a 13 fight. Ever since he just keeps winning.
I mean,
13 fight win streak. Whatever he
the
changed.
mentality
whatever-
shift, too, can make a big difference. I mean, he's
Right.
got a lot of
Look
guys.
at Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
He lost like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then he had I think it was his daughter.
Yep.
And then he just went on a tear and was
Or,
submitting, choking people out, knocking people out and stuff. And
yep.
I
On the
honestly
reverse,
like seeing
he
that
won the
more.
title.
yeah.
I honestly like seeing that more because
Yeah.
if there's anything that I don't like in this sport, even in wrestling in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
overseas nobody tracks your damn record. Nobody here cares how many wins or losses you had. Have you won nationals? Have you been top 3? That's ever. That's what people care about.
Mm-hmm.
Here it's like, oh, I'm 20-0, I'm 30-0 in wrestling, I'm 15-2. Like it doesn't matter because what I think it's like we have these insane expectations of everyone just being 20-0, and
Yeah.
then when somebody gets a few losses on their record, they get so demotivated, and I think that's sending a very, very wrong message to kids because hey, sometimes it's okay to lose, right?
For
Because
sure.
you're gonna learn out of it. It's gonna motivate you. There's so much good things about losing, and you're like, oh, you lost, you suck.
Yeah.
So to me, it makes it way more. To me, it's more impressive for Merab to start with 2 losses and became what he become, right now.
Yeah.
Or Charles Oliveira,
Yeah.
great example. Then somebody having 20-0, 50-0, not 50-0, sorry,
For sure.
15-0 record.
Yeah,
like,
Mayweather. 15,
yeah.
something like
yeah,
that.
it's great, but like I want to see a guy that's
You're right.
human.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to see a guy
Yeah.
that's human.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything. If you go look back on my record, when I first started fighting as a pro, I was 3-0, and then I lost, I think, 8 or 9 straight.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Submission.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is when I first started fighting.
Yeah.
And then I
You
just
really bounced back.
Yeah, I really bounced back. And I won, I think, 4, lost 1, then won like 6 or 7 in a row, and then just.
So that's a pretty big, like that's quite a few in a row too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, were you still training just like, was there a certain thing that made that happen, or you were just it was just a bad
Honestly,
situation, or were you not training as hard, not as much?
I wasn't training as hard as much. To be honest,
Lose a love for it or something?
no. To be honest, it was my ex-wife. She told me either start training your ass off or just be done. Like, I'm sick of seeing you lose. And
Yeah,
so,
a
and
good
so
woman
then-
can do a lot for you.
Yeah,
you know.
and so then I really busted my ass at old Priscilla's back on 6th Avenue and just started racking up the wins and
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah, so
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause that's a big. And then you got people like on the reverse side of that, like Dominic Reyes. To kind of go back to the point of people who like have a mentality shift. Dominic Reyes was on the come up. I mean, he had a really good. I'm smoking everybody, not even close fights. And had a really good fight with John Jones, who everyone knows John Jones.
Right,
You know. And a lot of people think he won that fight. I only seen highlights of that fight, so I haven't gone back and watched the whole fight, so I couldn't give my opinion on who won. But then after he lost John Jones, he started losing people he used to would have smoked. I mean,
it's the mentality.
yeah, it seems like now he's kind of coming back a little bit.
Yeah,
But
Okay, I will say, interesting you touched the subject of John Jones, right? As much as I am impressed with his,
Career.
all of his wins in his
Yeah.
career, it's like, to me, being a true athlete is a little bit more than that. it's a little bit more than just wins and losses. I think that you are supposed to kind of be you're supposed to be a role model to the future
A good
generation.
athlete.
I
Right.
can so.
Now, okay, we all can slip and do some bad things here and there, and I even see it with a few wrestlers too. Like you need to have in mind that kids are watching, right? That you guys set a good example. So if we go on benders and this and that, like I don't think if we put John Jones next to Habib, even though John Jones wins were, he had more title defenses and two weight class champ, and
For sure.
great, all impressive. To me, Habib's more of an athlete, just from all these, like, do everything right.
Yeah,
How he puts himself
Yeah,
up.
as a person, as a
I
human
can-
being.
Yeah. I mean, if we're speaking like athlete, like I think athlete really just comes down to who has the better attributes, wins and stuff as an athlete. But like if we're talking about let's say go to the sport, then 100% I agree. Like you're saying who's the GOAT, like I like Khabib a lot. I've taken a lot of stuff from Khabib and whatnot. Or Demetrius Johnson's another really good role model. And that's like when you're talking about the GOAT of the sport, it should be more so like role model. When you say athlete, it kind of makes me just think about like who had the better wins in this as like a fighter. We're talking about like as a good person, like who's been the best for the sport, who's go to the sport. I would start leaning towards guys like GSP. Then GSP's awesome, great
Maybe
guy.
a little bit of
Benson Henderson was really good. For
Yeah,
the sport,
yeah.
He was
So
always
maybe
about
a bit of a language barrier for me there too, because okay, so you say athlete and you keep saying the word sport, right? So in Serbia, the word for sport is sport. It's the same, but for athlete, it's sportista. So it's like same as sports, just you add like a few letters.
Oh,
So
interesting.
so that so it's a little bit
Serbians, dude.
right. So to me, it's like when you say sport.
Yeah.
Or sportista.
Yeah.
To me, it's like okay, you're supposed to be what
I
good
gotcha.
for the sport.
Yeah,
right?
so I guess a little
maybe-
different
yeah.
perspectives on that end. That
And,
makes sense.
and athlete here, when you say athlete, I can see your point of view. It's like more of
Just
an athletic freak that does cool
Yeah,
stuff in the
yeah,
cage.
yeah.
Right, yeah, I can
that
see
makes sense. Okay, so we're on the same page, right? Like
Yeah.
if we're talking about who was better for the sport and whatnot, you start looking at other guys who, like I said, the kids can look up to and stuff. And I'm sure there's kids that look up to John Jones, and it's not like John Jones was always a bad guy.
Right.
He's just had probably too many bad moments. Like,
Too many, right.
Too many bad moments. And at that level, you're gonna any little bad moment, any little mistake, it's gonna be well known. I mean, there's gonna be someone on the street who sees it, like
Yeah.
fucking John Jones. He's over there, whatever he's doing, he knows.
I mean, even I think it happens, right? But like here we have Kyle Snyder in wrestling, right? The incident that happened. I don't know if you ever.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, he got caught, paying for trying to pay for a blowjob from a prostitute. Right?
Yeah.
Which okay, it only happened once. It probably nothing like that. will
Yeah,
happen
no,
again.
not don't.
And it's a little bit easier to forgive and forget. I
People
would
will
say.
blow it up though.
Yeah, in the moment.
Yeah, and you think
First
about,
few
like-
months are probably going to be rough in his life.
Yeah.
But eventually it's going to be one mistake. Married man, like it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't ever get to a point like now. If you heard, oh, John Jones beat up his wife, he's like, oh, again. Oh, okay. What's in the gym books me.
Yeah. What'd you say? I'd say we got your back, but I think he smokes all of us, to be honest.
Buddy, I'm running. He's probably catching you, but I'm running.
Probably catching. It was him. I'm just pointing. I'm a point fingers. Yeah, we're with you. We got him, John.
It's like I gotta get that citizenship
Yes.
fast, so I have some rights here. So I can at least swim after.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. You better make an escape plan for something like that. 'Cause,
Oh man, I do speak my mind a lot.
Okay. Well, you do. Well, that's why we're good. That's why we start
That's
talking.
why we have a podcast.
That's why we have a podcast.
Until we get sued or something.
For sure.
Right.
Well, back on John Jones with what do you guys think about him still holding the belt? Obviously, there's been lots of controversy about him. He should give it up and maybe even just retire at this point. He's getting older.
At this point, I think it's in in hands of the UFC. I know he's their GOAT, he's their but
Dana loves John Jones. Too.
right, they need to set an ultimatum. Hey, you're fighting.
If you don't fight by this time.
Yeah, you gotta fight or we gotta strip you.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, just to Aspinall, and not just to Aspinall, because it's fair to the other contenders. Like you have Volkov, the Russian guy, he's been on a tear, right? So he right. Let's say that John Jones beat Aspinall or Aspinall beats John Jones. Doesn't matter. Like that should have already happened by now. And then Volkov would have been next in line. He should have Volkov now should. So now we're not just affecting Aspinall, they're affecting Volkov and the guys.
That just keeps going down the line.
Holding up the division.
Yeah, it is. I mean, so do you guys think John Jones is worried, maybe not scared is the word, but like worried that he'd lose against Aspinall?
Yes.
I think so. I mean, Aspinall's tough. I think it's a big risk. I think it's a big risk and reward for him, really, because the reward isn't as big as the risk. I feel like.
Yeah, I think it's like a.
And there's no shame, I think, if he doesn't do it.
I just don't like how he's holding up. I think he should retire the belt, whatever.
I think it's like a Gustafsson fight. You know what I mean? Because he has that kind of striking.
But the national team big
wrestling, and he's at heavyweight. So I think, and John's not. I don't think he's not a natural heavyweight though.
He's not, but he has bulked up pretty well to his best ability, you know.
But you're getting these guys that are actually cutting down to the heavyweight, and he's actually trying to stay up at heavyweight.
Yeah, we expected to see him.
Buffed up. He wasn't that big. He was just kind of chubby.
For sure, definitely.
To be fair, he did dominate in both of the fights, especially against Don. Miocic, Miocic is like 42.
Older.
You know, he's older. Still a tough guy, right?
For sure.
But then what he did to Ghana was like, what just happened?
Yeah, I mean, he exposed Ghana. I mean, maybe Ghana just really don't have much ground game at all. Great striker. But he hasn't really been tested with many wrestlers, or many great wrestlers before that fight. So, I mean, I think John just kind of exposed John's ground game. Or maybe John Jones really just is that much different. He's that much better to where he can make him look like he has nothing.
Has an instinct for that choke that's out of this world. And
man. I mean, maybe so. And then I would like to see the Aspinall and John Jones fight, but
I just don't know if it's going to happen.
Who do you guys think wins it?
That's a tough one. Johnny
That's
Bones knows it. Yeah.
Hard to say.
It's a coin flip.
It's hard to say.
I don't know.
It is really hard to say.
That's why he's been coin flipping for a while.
It's
like,
I can see Aspinall.
Today it's kids, tomorrow so.
I can see him knocking him out.
Yeah, I could too. I mean, Aspinall is like.
I can also see him taking him down and choking him out.
Yeah, so you know what I was big on? I don't know if I could see, you saying you could see Aspinall taking him down, choking him out. I don't know if I could see that as much as I could see him knocking him out. But I was big on Pavlovich, I believe is how it's pronounced. I was really big on him. I seen him fight a couple times. I was like, this dude hits like a truck. This dude has got like an absolute thing. Aspinall smokes him.
Yeah. Well, he got him. It was I think both of them had a very decent chance of knocking each other out.
For sure. Aspinall was just like twice as fast though. I mean, his punch got there before, Pavlovich had his punch loaded. Like,
that would be an interesting rematch though. I think that would be, arguably we can...
If Pavlovich caught him, he could definitely put him out.
Yeah.
The thing is, Aspinall just beat him to the punch, and I think he's going to beat him to the punch every time.
Honestly, heavyweight division hasn't been this strong in a while.
No, it's pretty good. It's just at a pause, and it's been at a pause.
Yeah.
There's some fun fights. Then I don't know if you guys seen, but just recently, like John Jones mentioned Francis Ngannou, like out of nowhere. Did you guys see that? No.
I heard Ngannou might come back.
Yeah. It's almost like making it seem too obvious that he doesn't want to fight Aspinall. He's calling out everybody else.
I didn't see Jones saying about Ngannou, but I did see potential Ngannou.
I just seen like something brief. Yeah. I don't remember what it was, but I thought it was John Jones saying something about like calling out Ngannou or something like that. Like bring another champion. That's a real fight or something. But
Aspinall is a champ.
He's interim, yeah. And I mean, he's smoked some good guys.
Tell me what. So if this, you said you had fight, maybe have a fight in June. What's next for you in general? What do you want to achieve? And how much do you think you have left in this sport?
Good question.
What do I want to achieve? There's nothing I want to achieve. I've pretty much achieved it all that I wanted to, that I could have. I'm just doing this because I like it. I like the sport. I like the who I'm able to beat. You know, where I'm able to go, what I'm able to do, and just show my son that with hard work and dedication, you can really do whatever you want to do. I know I'm getting older, so there's not much more that I need to prove, if anything, honestly.
Yeah.
Anything just prove to myself. I don't know. I have 3 fights left on my contract with BKB.
Yeah. Are you able to get out of that anytime too? Like if you decide to retire, like that's just.
If I retire, then yeah.
Cool.
But it's not tied to any MMA fights, right?
No, if I can.
And that's cool. That's
I
cool.
can, yeah, I can fight. That was the big thing about when I signed with them is I wanted to be able to fight boxing, you know, or kickboxing, grappling, and MMA if I wanted to. And they were like, well, yeah, as long as it's not, if it's not bare knuckle, then we're good. You can do whatever you want.
Cool.
We spoke last time a little bit about, or maybe even a little bit more, about Porcelli MMA and what we have been doing here and trying to do here in Des Moines is get all these young kids to train, make this sport, hey, this sport is doable for anyone, you just have to put in the work. It is a fun sport. And we're trying to grow Porcelli MMA not just with kids but with professional fighters as well. We spoke and mentioned multiple names last time that are already here. We have 6 or 7 pros in this gym right now.
Quite a bit right now. Yeah, it's going good.
Hopefully we get a few more in as well.
Yep.
So with that being said, like how has Porcelli MMA changed you? Because you joined here after me and Brock came here. You know you
ran your own gym.
You ran your own gym until then. You decided, which I really admire. You decided without any ego, without anything, to just come here, join up where you kind of came from, right? Because you used to train here, and you decided to train here. You brought even your own mats, right? So, how did that affect you? With all that you have been going through in the past year.
I mean, I think the biggest reason why I closed the gym is just because I wanted more time with my son. And just with everything going on, I didn't feel it was appropriate to keep on neglecting my family, more my son than anything. So I did that, and then I reached out to Porcelli because I like everybody else in the rest of the other gyms. I have nothing bad to say about them, but I've always just had just this relationship with Porcelli because he was one of the first wrestling coaches that I met when I was up here, besides Larry Jackson from East. And I've always clicked with him. He was my first MMA coach, and we always had our differences, but we've always clicked. And I knew when I closed the gym that this is where I was going to go. And I don't even know how many freaking people I brought with me because I didn't want them to go anywhere else because I knew that this is the place to be. This is the place to better yourself, not only as an amateur, but as a professional, inside and outside the gym, because we're not just a gym, but we're a family as well.
That's true.
You know,
And look at the names they brought in. I mean, Kevo, how good him and we didn't have anyone, but we had Martin, right?
Yep.
And Patrick Martin, and then
So they work well together.
And then him and Kevo work great together.
Yeah.
And then you have what's his name? Edgar.
Eric.
Eric.
Eric's a dog, dude.
Eric's a dog.
I don't even, like, that's funny, dude. That dude, when he first came in, he was good, he was alright, and then I think he got sent to jail for a little bit, and then he came back, and then he just put his nose to the ground, and Janet was murking everybody.
Yeah. That dude takes fight serious.
Well, that's
I don't know what it is.
He's still pissed. He's like, I'm gonna knock him out.
That seems like he had a rough upbringing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll get him in jail.
We'll get him in jail. We do that, you know.
And I don't mean to put his life out there like that, but I know how he is as a person and as a I mean, he's a nasty kid. Like, I don't mean as a bad.
Yeah, no, I'm super respectful of
Yeah,
him.
very, very
Super.
respectful.
And the dude won't tap.
No,
There's no way. I had him
I don't know how
You
many
know,
coaches I've had him in,
I did
and
put him-
I've only got him a couple different times with that.
I did put him in a triangle the other day, and I started thinking about you, how you were telling me your story about how you couldn't get him to tap. I was like, all right, I better make sure I like really cut the angle. So I did, and I got it, and it was good.
I did get it eventually. But
Yeah,
it took
you said
forever.
it took like 2 minutes or
Because when
something.
you drill it, it's like, okay, I'm like, why is this still not working? Like my leg is getting numb. Like,
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I switched the angle like you did, and like I got it eventually. But like, the dude has so much heart in it. I mean, he's such a great asset to the gym.
Yeah,
Well,
Dave,
shout
that's
out,
so
man.
He's
well,
cool.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of
Shout
even
out.
the heart, like you both of you guys were at his last fight, obviously.
Oh my God.
How
I
many
was
times?
wondering
How
when you
many
were getting
times he got slammed?
Oh, the
His
MMA
last
one, not
MMA
the
fight.
kickboxing.
Yes,
Okay,
his
yes,
last
yes.
MMA fight. How many times he got slammed?
By Division
And
3.
dude's just getting taken down, bang, from
Yes,
the back,
and
bro.
the dude was like a Division
Wow.
3 college wrestler,
Yeah.
and he got
He ends
taken
up
down.
subbing him, is that right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
yes, and he's just for no wrestling background, no kind of background, just a nasty
Just
freaking.
a dog.
And-
bro.
And he's a 25 pounder, which is crazy to me.
Big
He's
25
taller
too.
than me, right?
Big
He-
25.
Big 125 pounder. He cuts the weight, no bitching about it whatsoever.
Doesn't
And
bitch,
then you
but
have
he
you,
cuts.
you're a 125 pounder. Then you have Cesar, he's a
We
125
got a
pounder.
bunch of good
It's
like
three
that,
of
too.
them pro level already. And speaking of Europe, of course, pro level for a
Yeah.
long time now. And then
We got Carter too, the young buck.
yeah,
The
he's
young buck. And
yeah.
he's, but maybe
and
not
then,
pro level yet.
and
but
then
he's
let's
still.
invite Kai to the show, right? Kai used to train.
Oh yeah, Kai, get your ass in
Yeah,
here.
dude, you already know, dude.
Kai used to train with
Yeah.
you. He used to train with me back in Absolute. He's
Yeah.
been trying to find home. Is how it looks
Yeah,
like.
no, I like Kai.
Maybe
Kai's
he
always
doesn't
been
like
cool.
finding home. Maybe he likes cross
I
training.
think from time to talk to him, it seems like he does like cross train quite a bit, and that's totally cool. I think it's.
But I
do
think this
it's
is a
good.
place to be, though.
I agree. Like, I mean, obviously we're all biased. We're fucking all from
But
here.
no, okay, no. You know why? Because when I got here, I was cross training. I don't know if you remember.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And I talked to Perselli, and then he like looked at me in his Italian accent, and he's like, "That's all fine. You just have to have a home."
He does.
and I thought about it a little bit. I was like, "Yeah, you're right. That shit's
It's
kind of
cool.
yeah. You don't feel like at the end of the day when you're fighting, you gotta mention the gym."
You do,
Well,
yeah.
not only that, you also have to have those coaches and corners, training partners that know,
Teammates.
that know you and know your style, especially if you're trying to fight and have them guys corner you.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't just have,
That's a big
you know, what I
point.
mean? You can't just have some random person from a gym. Oh yeah, I want you to corner me. I'm not saying anything about anybody. I'm just saying that
For sure.
you need to have that coach that you can hear. Because me personally, I have to be able to hear you in the cage, in the ring, on the mat or whatever. If I can't hear you, then I'm probably not gonna have you in my corner because I can't hear that voice.
For sure. And a
You
lot
have
of
to
it-
have those voices that
You
you
gotta
can
be used
understand.
to it. You gotta
Yeah,
be used
exactly.
to the voice. Like your mind's gonna adapt to the voice that you used to listen to in
Exactly.
practice and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that makes a big difference. And yeah, like the whole having a home thing. I've never really like dabbled with other experiences because I've been here my whole career, you know. But even now, like I go cross train other places, but I couldn't imagine having like someone else that I've only trained with or that I only train with once a week or something like cornering me. Because then it's just, I don't know, it changed things. I wouldn't be able to hear him as much over somebody else in the crowd, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference. And
No,
not
I
only that,
agree,
like
yeah.
having the support behind you, like walking out and having everyone backstage with you before, like, hey man, like,
Yeah.
you're ready, you trained hard, we've trained with you this whole time, like,
Yep.
just people that are there to back you pretty much,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And I think you'll get that cross training, but not to that extent. And it's not, you know, not as much.
So we went over what's next for you, Nate. How about you, man? What's next for you, and what are you waiting on?
Right now we're looking at August 9th for MCC. It's not at Battle Air this time. It's at the Horizon Event Center, the old Seven Flags.
Oh, I like that place.
Yeah, pretty good spot. So I know a lot of people don't dog on Battle Air. I actually like Battle Air
So do
because
I.
it's smaller, but I'd say like pack that place, bro. And
Yeah, that's where one of my first
That's why I like it so much.
I fought there once. It was a good walkout.
Yeah.
Crowd was a little bit more human, I would say.
Yeah, and Rick treats me well.
Well, I did have my Serbians though. I did have my Serbians at Absolute League.
Yeah.
Right. So that was obviously a boost, but like here, even though I didn't have my own crowd whatsoever, at Ball Air, it was like you can hear the walkout song. Like, people are screaming.
The energy at Ball Air is probably the best energy I felt like coming out to fight stuff. Everyone is rowdy and into it, dude. And Rick Tassler, he treats me well. He gets me the stage with my family because I always sell a bunch of tables. Last time was awesome, dude. They freaking had like it says reserve boiling, and it's like the only section that's like they had like little things sectioning it off and whatnot, and it was the only part where they had that across the whole thing. Rick treats me well.
Eastside privilege, right?
Well, to be fair, he treats me well, but I fought for him.
Yeah,
90% of my fights, like I've made him off my ticket sales, so we got a good connection. Like we're good boys. Yeah. Shout out to Rick.
And he's been around the game for a long time.
He's been around the game, But they had a guy who was a 5-0 AMI. He was gonna make his pro debut. Was actually a pretty tough kid for August 9th. But then they got this like a while ago, pretty far out really. He pulled out due to having something come up or whatever, They're still waiting. They're still waiting. So we got about 2 months. They're looking. We're actively looking.
And what did this fight get you? What did Rick and Johnny Case? What did they say?
Oh,
if you win this fight, what happens?
Okay, so for this one specifically, they said there's going to be a representative for Ryzen, which for those who don't know, it's a big promotion out in Japan. So really, if I go get an impressive win on this, there's the opportunity for me to go out to Ryzen, fight in Japan. That's what Johnny fights for, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I heard Japan pays well, so that could be fun.
Yeah, Rakim fought out in Japan.
Oh, did he? Do you know what promotion you fought for?
No, it was a promotion a long time.
Okay.
It was like
whatever.
No, not even. It was like 8, 9 years ago.
Cool. And like, I've talked to my management too, and like, my main goal has always been the UFC. That's my big goal. But I will definitely entertain an offer going out to Japan, making some money, especially if it could be like a shorter contract, even a 1-fight contract. That'd be awesome. Maybe a couple fight contract, like 3-fight contract. I don't know if I want to sign anything.
Even if it's a 1 fight at a time, it doesn't matter.
That would be ideal. Is 1 fight at a time. I just know a lot of bigger promotions have contracts, 5-fight contracts, stuff like that. I'd ideally like to just do 1 fight at a time. That way, like, if I do have the 1 fight, then I come back, fight again here, then Danny gives me the call.
And do you have like a goal, like how many fights you like me personally? I like to me this year, I'm like, what are my goals for the year? I'm like, I wanna flip 3 houses. I wanna have 3 fights. So far, 1 house, 1 fight, and we're in the middle of the year. How many fights would you like to have this year, or is that not that important?
I don't think about it. I mean, I would like to be active. I don't think about how many fights I want in a year. So I do have this side bet, which is getting very close with my best friend. I made this bet like 10 years ago when I first started training. It was pretty much the goal for me, or my bet was that I'm going to be in the UFC by the age of 25. I'm 24 right now, so it is.
It's ticking, buddy.
It's ticking. It's a $1,000 bet with my best friend. Shout out to JJ. And my birthday is March 31st, so just relatively recently. So, and I've told my management this too. I'm like, hey, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen. It's a $1,000 bet. I can still get in, pay it off to them, whatever. If it doesn't happen, actually, you know what? If it doesn't happen, I'm done. I'm retiring.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Right, but look the age limit. Not that there ever was a limit, which has been proven more often than not.
Yeah.
It's like, especially in a sport like MMA, and especially, maybe 10 years ago, we were like, oh, when you make it 30, you're old, right?
Yeah.
But how much more do we know now about recovery? How much now do we know about supplementation?
Not to spar hard every day and stuff. I think that's big.
The way of training, everything has improved, and I think that improved in a way. The age limit, we have, champions that are over 34 years. Volkanovski, we have Merab, we have John Jones, we have who's it like heavyweight?
Is it Pierre still?
No, he
Ankalaev.
lost. Ankalaev, he's not that young, I think.
Yeah,
So we have guys that are 32, 35, 36,
we do.
winning, not just competing and winning, but winning belts.
This and
So-
crazy. This is kind of a hot take, but or not a hot take, but you're starting to see this. I think it's a little too intense for what you need to do. We're seeing some good guys like Taporia, Holloway, who are saying they don't even spar. Like, I mean, Taporia says he only spars a couple times in his camps now.
I just don't know how that's possible.
So honestly, I've thought about, like, even recently. I know I'm still young, not sparring, not saying that. I'm not gonna never do that, right? I think you still have to, and I think, like, once you get close to the fight, you should have at least one hard spar. But like outside of camps, like, I definitely plan on making it super playful, like barely hitting each other. The problem is, you always have those guys you go with and they slowly start picking up the intensity, or guys who just don't really know how to be playful when they're sparring, so you'll have that.
But also, at the same point, I mean, you have to know how to slip a punch when it's coming faster.
You do, no, and timing's a big thing.
So,
And I think there's good drills that, like, incorporate stuff like that without actually even sparring, like just a jab game for a reason.
Right.
Like,
I
you're
don't
trying
think anyone should be ever knocked out cold in sparring.
Oh no,
You know,
not at all.
and,
Not at all. You'll see that sometimes.
And especially, like, how does this look? Okay, we're speaking about now. We want to get in, more young bucks in here, more kids come train, love the sport, grow the sport, right?
Yeah.
And you see somebody knock out cold, like,
Oh yeah, I mean,
you
that's
don't
not
wanna
good.
See that? It's not good.
You
for
shouldn't. I mean, that's not ideal at all. Yeah. Which really, I feel like we do a pretty good job in here not having guys that are going too crazily hard, to be honest. Like people were mentioning, like, headgear and stuff too, but you just get hit more. You get hit more when you wear the headgear.
Yeah, because you can't see the.
You can't see as much, and it just makes your head a bigger target. Really.
Well, and you can't slip as well either.
Yeah. So
I think it's honestly headgears. I think is worse for you than anything, because it's that false sense of
security,
and you know what I mean. I've never been a big person on wearing a headgear.
Well, that's what I was gonna get to the point where, like, you really shouldn't be sparring hard enough to even wear the headgear. Like, again, maybe I think, like, typically how I treat my camps, though, spar every week, lean numb to it, but relatively playful or whatnot. And I say playful, but it's not like I'm just lollygagging. Like, I'm still trying my timing, my techniques. It's just nothing's thrown with bad intentions,
Yeah, the power's down.
Yeah.
The more the speed is up, the more the technique is up.
Exactly.
If you hit a guy a little harder on accident, you're not going to try to land five more.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
But then, like,
Like, you hit me good, like, Saturday. Boom! And you're like, oh, sorry. And that's, but, like, if you see me buzz, then you go bump, bump, bump. Then you have all this ego involved.
Yeah,
and it gets
ego
really toxic
can
and
do
bad.
that to somebody. But then what I was gonna say,
We don't have that here in Brazil.
Yeah, no, I do like to have one good hard spar. And typically, I go out to shout out to Pure Vita, Jake Clip, and all them out there, Montel Jackson. I usually like going out there 3 to 4 weeks before my fights, because they have some absolute studs. I mean, they have good guys. They're out in Wisconsin, I believe it is.
And it's good also sparring somebody that you're not used to.
Exactly.
Like, we went to Florida, spar those guys, and all the little tricks that don't work on you guys anymore because
Worked
you know
out
what's
there.
coming. It works there, and like,
Yeah.
okay, this actually works. Thank
Yeah,
God. Like,
but I like going out there, because not only is it a new look, but, like, we'll go out there and they're game to throw down a little bit, like, again, they have a lot of studs, so I'll go out there, throw down, get my ass beat a little bit by those guys, and then going into the fight, I'm ready for it,
For sure.
But-
Even before your fight, right? What did we do in the locker room? You were like,
Oh yeah, dude. I mean,
you had to put. I'm like just
I had to
nice,
put on little
and you like
gloves.
put gloves and like throw
And
a
I
few
had-
punches, and you're like throw them harder, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
No, I had
Yeah.
Milan like throw at me 70, 80, maybe something like that, with
Yeah.
the little gloves on. Cause like at first, I was like, here, put these on, give me some overhand stuff like that. Cause that's what the guy came out and did to me in my last fight. Came out and threw at me. So I wanted to feel it, Cause like once you got all that adrenaline and nerves before the fight, everyone gets it before they fight.
And who's scarier to put in front of you before the fight than me?
Then the Serbian nightmare, bud. But and that's why I remember I told you, I'm like, you can, give me a little more mustard on the shots, and you're like, really? I'm like, yeah, dude, like, I want to feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready for it. I didn't want you to, like, throw me off and fake me and fucking...
Knock him out.
Yeah.
Hell main event.
Yeah, dude, like, nothing stupid, but I wanted to feel it a little bit, and, you know, whether it made a difference or not, it prepared me to get ready for exactly what happened. Dude came out and he started launching big overhands at me, but
Yeah.
I stayed composed throughout it, and
You stayed
maybe
very
that did
composed.
take a little point,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
Flew good through the situations.
yeah.
Out wrestled a guy that was very
Super strong
explosive
athlete.
and explosive, not just strong.
Very.
explosive.
Very explosive. I remember
You fought what's his name? Ahrens?
Tommy Aaron.
Ahrens.
Yeah.
We knew he was strong.
Yeah.
Right? But it's different when someone's strong and
And
explosive.
explosive. Yes. It is a lot different. You can have strong people, but like I said, if they're not explosive, it's not as applicable to MMA. Rather than that guy, I mean, super explosive. I'm sure he can do well in the pro ranks, considering he fought someone but me. But no, shout out to Miles. No, he's a tough cat, and I hope he sticks with it because I think he's relatively young. I think he's like my age, so yeah, hopefully he sticks with it and does well. You know.
Going back to headgear a little bit, you were mentioning headgear. Like my first two amateur fights were in Serbia. Then I moved here and then continued. But like my first two fights were both in the same day, but with headgear. So I had two fights in one day, which is like you were after the first one, you were going through and the first one's in the morning, next one's in the evening.
Two fights in a day.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't feel it during the second one. I'm already sore, right?
Like a wrestling term.
Right, it was like a term, yeah.
Yeah.
And I won them both. Won like it was kind of like a tournament. Like won a medal. It was cool. Right? I didn't know nothing, but it was just overhand Greco. Right?
Yeah.
But
shin guards at all or no?
I don't remember. No shin guards.
Okay, but MMA gloves?
MMA gloves. They didn't even check your pad. It was just kind of scary.
Oh, I believe that.
They don't, and the MMA gloves. I mean, you bring your own too.
Yeah.
That's how it used to be back in the day.
Right.
Well, I remember my first fight. I fought against someone. It was on Brutal Genesis, and they didn't wear any wraps or anything, just the glove, no wraps.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus.
I remember I was on the cage and the guy pulls my headgear over my eyes, and like he was losing, right? He was trying to get one up on me. He was a jiu-jitsu guy, right? He pulls it over my eyes, and I complained to the ref, and the ref like, stop talking or something like that, and I just grabbed my headgear and threw it on the ground. Like I'm a sassy fucker, right? I just threw it on the ground like I can't see, like you know what I mean? Because I was in a clinch, so I couldn't really reach to adjust it.
Yeah.
That was one problem I had with. The other thing was in my first match, I'm ground and pounding the guy.
Yeah.
And his headgear falls off, and the ref stopped it like three or four times to put it back on him, right?
Yep.
And I'm
As you're on top, I mean, just
right,
wow.
and I'm getting coached in this is really fun. I'm getting coached by my wife in English, right?
Yep.
Everyone there is Serbian, right?
Yeah.
And I'm getting coached by English in English, and like his headgear falls off, and I'm so sick of it. I put it back on him, and I just and the worst part is,
you got a video of this?
I don't know if you can hear it, but he says thank you.
Oh no!
You guys ever see that fight where the dude put the mouthpiece back in his
Yeah,
mouth
then
and
you just smoked him.
Yeah, I put it back on him. He looks and he says thank you, and I just keep flashing.
Oh,
and,
that's dirty, Milan.
It wasn't though. I mean, like I just got sick of like interruptions.
So when you said the first fight, you tore your headgear off.
No, the second fight, I pulled my own off because I couldn't see.
Did they stop it and make you put it back on? Or
He
what?
was gonna. He's like, I'll take a point away from you. Like, don't do that again. And I'm like, I was still a wrestler, right? So I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know the scoring system.
Yeah. Well, wrestling points are a lot easier to get back.
And I'm like, it doesn't seem that bad.
Really losing the point. That
1
makes
point,
sense.
like I was like thinking, look, I threw this guy 4 times and probably 12-0 up. I'm probably leading by a lot.
Yeah.
What's 1 point, you know?
Oh shit.
Meanwhile, you lose 1 point in MMA, you lose the
That
round.
brings a good point up. Losing the point in MMA is quite a bit. Okay, so we don't gotta get off topic, but so did they make you put it back on then?
Yeah, I got it back on, and he resetted us, and we were fine.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a dirty move by him, and I was like, I'm not gonna wrestle blindfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say wrestle MMA, whatever.
So
Whatever.
you said you fought twice and won that.
Twice in one day, yeah, that was cool. And quite a little bit of an audience too.
Yeah.
It was like in front of a shopping mall, but they had like actual stands, and it was a good
Was
experience.
it outdoor or?
Outdoor, yeah.
My first
And
couple fights were outdoor
really, yeah.
kickboxing one, Joe.
I was like, the adrenaline I felt, I was like, man, like, this is awesome.
Like,
Totally.
I've done that before, fought twice in one day. It's actually for MCC.
Oh, really?
It was a 4-man tournament for a title.
Oh,
the title.
Jesus.
First,
MMA?
yeah, first ever pro flyweight title for MCC. There was me, Johnny Coleman, Tony Crowder, and Jovan Miles.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I think it might have died. Well,
How long ago?
I'm not sure. We will have to check it. But the thing is, we can use the rest of the audio from the phone. It won't sound as good, so we apologize for that because our audio recorder shut off or died on
I
us.
did see it go red maybe 30 minutes ago.
Well, these things stayed red, so those have been on for a while. But okay, let's finish up this and let's finish it up, and then I'll get the audio all figured out.
But no, it was 4 of us. I fought Jovan Miles the first round, the first fight of the night. Tony and Johnny fought the second fight.
Okay.
I went all 3 rounds. Tony tapped out Johnny in like 20-something seconds. So I was already at a disadvantage. We fought the co-main event. I ended up submitting Tony with the key lock. Winning the title.
Yep.
That's kind of what happened to me. My guy like won triangle first round. I like went I think 2 rounds. So
Yeah.
you know, so it was I was tired.
Yeah, I bet. Yo, that's like a wrestling tournament. You get a guy who just went out there and pinned their guy, and then you win all 3 rounds in a tough match, so you go out there and motherfucker, dude.
The co-main event was gonna be a 5-round fight.
Oh God.
So I potentially could have gone 5 rounds.
Oh yeah.
So 5, 6, 7, 8.
Screw that, man.
8
What I was
rounds
saying
one
is,
night.
what was funny, what did I mention, the English part of the guy, is like, because he sent the thank you to me, not in Serbian, but in English, because my wife was coaching me in English. So
Yeah.
he thought I was American or something, like, why is this guy thanking me?
Oh, that's
in
funny.
English, right?
That's
So
great.
it's,
All right. Well, yeah, we should probably wrap
We
up
should
just
wrap it
because
up.
hopefully the audio. Hopefully we got most of the audio, but the rest of it we will just use the iPhone audio, so we'll still make it work. But yeah, apologies for the audio. We're still new to this crap. So.
Nick, thank you for joining
Yeah,
us.
yeah, we
brother.
appreciate it. That was a good time. We
We're glad to
appreciate it.
have you in our lives, in this gym, and in our podcast.
Yeah,
Thank you.
100%.
Appreciate it, guys.
So yeah,
I have to do it
awesome.
again sometime.
Definitely. All right, appreciate y'all watching. Okay, that's good.